Today, I'm thrilled to sign a new order taking the next step to create the United States Space Force. So important when you look at defense, when you look at all of the other aspects of where the world will be someday. I mean, this is the beginning. It's a very important process. First, I want to recognize our wonderful Vice President, Mike Pence, who serves as the chairman of the National Space Council. Thank you, Mike. Great job. I know you feel the same way I do. I also want to thank Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan, who's with us, Secretary of the Air Force Heather Wilson, Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Paul Selva, and the Executive Secretary of the Space Council, Dr. Scott Pace, for being here today. They've all worked very hard on the Space Force. They all believe in it very strongly, as I do. It's the future. It's where we're going. I suspect whether we like it or not, that's where we're going. It's space. That's the next step, and we have to be prepared. Our adversaries, and whether we get along with them or not, they're up in space, and they're doing it, and we're doing it, and that's going to be a very big part of where the defense of our nation, and you could say offense, but let's just be nice about it, and let's say the defense of our nation is going to be. America must be fully equipped to defend our vital interests. Our adversaries are training forces and developing technology to undermine our security in space, and they're working very hard at that. That's why my administration has recognized space as a warfighting domain and made the creation of the Space Force a national security priority. I think we'll have great support from Congress because they do support something when we're talking about such importance, and a lot of the generals, a lot of the people involved have been speaking to Congress, and we have some very interesting dialogue going on. We're investing in new space capabilities to project military power and safeguard our nation's interests, especially when it comes to safety and defense. This directive calls on the Secretary of Defense to develop a legislative proposal that will establish the structure and authority of the Space Force as the sixth branch of the United States Armed Forces. That would mean a the highest ranking person there would go on to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So it's a very, very important deal. The Space Force will organize, equip, and train the next generation of warriors to deter aggression and defend the nation, our allies, and American interests against hostile actions in the form of space and taking place in space. So we have a lot of things on the books. We have a lot of new defensive weapons and offensive weapons designed specifically for this, and now we're going to start taking advantage of. This is something they could have done sooner, but they decided to wait, and here I am, and we're going to do it, and I'm very proud that during my administration we're doing so much in space. We need it. We've already taken historic action to create the United States Space Command, as you know, within the Department of Defense to oversee the nation's military space operations. Now, in the face of these threats all around the world, American leadership in space is more important than it ever has been. Before, it used to be something that we'd aspire to, we talk about, but we wouldn't do anything. Now we have to do something because that's where it's at. With today's actions, we will ensure that our people are secure, our interests are protected, and our power continues to be unmatched. There will be nobody that can come close to matching us. It won't be close. What we have on the books are things that you wouldn't even believe. You wouldn't even believe. It's going to mean the safety of our nation for many, many decades and many, many generations, and that's what I'm here for. I guess when you get right down to it, more importantly than anything else, that's why I'm here. So I just want to thank everybody. The Space Force is a very important part of my administration, and it's a very important part of this nation. And it's an honor to be with you all, and I'll sign, and we will then maybe take a few questions.